Let's adjust. Sorry. Ooh, gotta move my thing around. Hey. All right, that's a little better, right? A little weird, but I'm sorry that I have to look down. All right, so this is not even shared yet, so let's take it. And we're gonna share. Copy. I'm sorry for anyone tuning in early or late watching this later. Please feel free to skip ahead. Boop. We're gonna make a new post. I'm gonna do a video. Add URL. Paste. Direct link. Paste. Reiki live stream link. And we're going to make it live, public, publish now, patrons only. Live. Okay, I think that's good. See you. I hope that that's right. Sometimes these don't really work great. Okay, so we've shared it. There we go. All right, and we'll just wait for people to come. Just gonna wait. I am here at 1:48, and I believe I told everyone to come at 2, and I just wanted to open the room a little early just to make sure everybody could get here safely. Does that make sense? If I watch myself, okay, we don't want to do that. I don't want to watch myself. All right, just making sure my plugs are plugged in. Hello, hello. Just checking my gain. How are you doing? Happy Aries full moon. Aw, thanks, boo. Thanks. How's it going? So I opened the room a little early just because I wanted people to take their time coming in. We're officially going to start in about 10 or 11 minutes. But, for now, we're just going to hang out, chill, drink some kombucha, finish my coffee. All right. Hey, Bill. Hey, I'm sensitive. Oh, happy birthday. Oh my gosh. Birthday on the Aries full moon on the 13th. It's a special one. All right. Hey, Kelly. How's it going? You know what? I should probably clean my glasses so that I can wear them so that I can read things better. And they're a little filthy. So let me see if I can find a wipey. A wipey. I have lots of wipies. I just have to figure out where I put it. Where's my camera? I'll be right back. I'm sorry to walk away from you. Okay. How's it going? It is extra special. Hey, Chloe. Hey, T. Hey, Emmett. How's it going? So I know I've already said this a couple times, so sorry for those watching it back, but we're a little early. I just wanted to open the room for people to make their way in so everyone has lots of time. And for myself to get a little settled in. I literally just got done with a Reiki class. So I went to the bathroom and I'm setting this up. So I wanted to jump right over. Hey, Lily. Hey, Pooja. Let me clean my glasses so I can actually read, so I can see. Boop, 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 boop. How's your Sunday going? All right, so let's take stock. Who else? Raise your hand if the energy of the environment has been super intense for you lately. Hello. Oh, I'm going to say your name wrong. Sharith? That's a gorgeous name. I wish I could pronounce it right. Hello. I can't raise his hand. Yeah. I can't explain the amount of intensity. I would say just again, because I'm the only one talking here. But I'm the only one with the thing going on, right? But essentially the past week, like I always want to be very real and authentic with you guys and share when I'm not having a great time also. So the past couple weeks have been really intense, and I won't say that they've been bad, but my energy has felt very stressed, like really easy. Yeah, I am settling in. Thanks, Kelly. Uh I felt so annoyed. I've literally felt like piranhas have been like trying to like take pieces out of me. And I'm not trying to call any people piranhas or like say that there's like, it's not like people as in like people are negative, but just draining. Like I felt very like pieces have been like ripped out or something. Hey, Lua. Hey, Samantha. Hey, Olivia. Hello. So we're going to start in about 7 minutes, just so you know. This is just like chill out time, making sure everything works, making sure the internet is behaving and all the tools. But I think that the energy I've felt, I could relate similar to frustration and knowing that I had to make some kind of change to preserve my own energy and just like do things from a more beneficial place for myself, like kind of like lay down a foundation, like pave something, set up a new boundary, do something in a different way. So I've felt that, but it's also been challenging because it wasn't like crystallizing yet. Like it wasn't like I could see it yet. So anyway, I've made some changes to like what I'm going to be offering. Like I'm sure you've seen, I'm going to be taking down my one-to-one classes for a little while and stuff just to like recalibrate and see how I can do that from a better way, because I feel like the one-to-ones, like I love them so much. Like I just got off of a one-to-one Reiki training class, and they're so fulfilling. Like they're so meaningful, to like form these connections with people, but energetically and from a bigger picture. It's not the 2 hours, you know what I mean? It's like the 2 hours multiple times over a year, you know what I mean? And I'm realizing that like at this point, it's not something I can sustain, it's not something I'm gonna be able to sustain. So I'm working on something that could be, hello, Nicole, that could be a bit more sustainable, something that works for other people, but also works for me. And that's hard. It's hard to make these kind of changes, isn't it? But we have to. Funny, Bill, I actually brought out one of the stones that you sent me today. It's some kind of quartzy, almost like feldspar aventurine kind of one. It's like a peachy aventurine, I want to say. Hey, Bonnie. Bonnie gave me these earrings because when I met her at the portal bonfire, I complimented that she had this pair on, and she got me my own. How sweet. Hey, Wibblebink. Yeah, it's a lot of changes I think it's a lot of changes for everyone. I think everyone is going through some major changes right now. In fact, I wanted to grab some tarot cards and see if you guys wanted to pull a little bit and just kind of like get some validations. It's like we know how we're feeling, but for whatever reason, when we hear it from another perspective or we hear it out of someone else's mouth, or the cards show it to us too. Hey, Julie, it makes it a little bit, I don't know, right? It's just like, yes, I'm seen. So let me just grab a tarot deck from under here. See how convenient that is? See how set up it is? Yeah, I want to get like a little tapestry for over here. So we'll see. All right, so I'm going to pull some cards. Just catch up with you guys. Hey, Samantha. Yes, Chloe said, I just feel like I'm coming up against waves of feeling good and then a whole ton of buried stuff coming to be healed in the cycle. And it's good, but I'm tired. Yeah. Yes. Same boat. It's good. Like it's good, but it's stirring a lot of stuff up. It's almost like in The Little Mermaid with like Ursula kind of like stirring the pot, and like all the boats that are submerged start like coming up. It's a time of shift. So we're always in shift. We're always growing. It gets really boring, right? To like hear someone keep saying, oh yeah, we're going through shifts, but like we can't That's weird. We can't deny how we're feeling this and how powerfully and how like viscerally. I don't know about you guys, but it's been very visceral for me lately. All right. So we're just going to set an intention to pull some cards, kind of get a little vibe for right now, maybe a little validation. Sorry, I must have put cards backwards when I was doing a reading for myself last time. So let me fix them. Yes, I see you. That was me. I can tell. I remember those cards. So recently, and I know I've kind of mentioned this a bunch on Instagram, so sorry for those of you who have heard this already. But just this week, I went through this experience where I got back in touch with a friend, Ashtara, who is Starseed Energetics. And I was just like connecting with her energy. We were chatting a little bit and I checked out her channel and she had this like goddess activation. And I'm into goddess stuff, but like honestly, like I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I'm not super knowledgeable. There are no goddesses that I work with. I don't call people goddess. I don't identify as like a goddess or something. So it was kind of like a meditation that she shared, or an activation, an energy transmittal essentially, that had a lot of goddess energy, a lot of feminine energy in it. I'm going to mispronounce the individual's name who created it, but I want to say Reagan something. I'm so sorry. Names are not great. But I listened to this meditation at night and it was like really, I'm saying meditation, it was like a whole activation thing. It's like an hour long. If you want to check out Starseed Energetics channel later, if you're feeling called to, it was really beautiful and really powerful. And honestly, I put it on at night and I kind of fell asleep to it. Like I wasn't like actively listening the whole time. I just was like, I want to receive. I'm going to set an intention to receive this. Hello, for those of you joining us, we're just like putzing around a little right now. We're about to get started. I'm going to pull some cards. I'm just kind of sharing. So in the video that Ashtara was talking about, she was saying how she had this like rebirth process and it was just crazy. And her birthday like somehow kind of changed in the process, or essentially this activation like changed her. But out of her mouth, she said like, well, I'm a Leo now. And the very next day after I listened to this goddess thing, this goddess activation, excuse me, I woke up and I was called to just go and check my birth certificate. And it was honestly the weirdest thing. It was as if the time changed. Like if you've heard of the mandala effect on things like just changing, like something like you would bet 100%, no, this is how that story ends, or no, this is that name of that book, or no, this is that. And like you go back and it's just different. It was like as if my birth time had changed. So I whip out Time Passages, which is the app that I use for my chart. And freaking, I change it. And guess what? Like, I'm not a Virgo rising. I'm a Leo rising. And it's like, my friend, like just talked about this thing of like becoming a Leo. And I literally put in like the exact date and I find out that I'm a Leo rising. And it's just been like, I know it doesn't sound like a lot maybe, but it was like really crazy for me to hear. Hey, Sarah, you made it. Awesome. Hey, Charles. Hey, Charlotte. All right. Hey, Leslie. Oh, great. Oh my gosh, Siri's talking to me. Sorry. I don't know why. Siri, you're embarrassing me. Okay. So for those of you who haven't made one of these live streams before, and everybody else, of course, but thank you so much for being here. Essentially once a month, either on the full moon or new moon, we kind of have been switching it up a little, trying to find what feels best for everyone. But we've been doing these energy work sessions together. And essentially what we're going to do is go through, we're going to pull some cards just because the energy has been so crazy. We don't always do this, but maybe we will always. So we'll just get a little reading, maybe something to think about. Maybe it's not for everyone. It's usually not for everyone, but whoever is going to get it will get it, that kind of thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the full moon and maybe some intentions we can set if you're doing a little candle ritual for yourself or something more elaborate, to kind of direct the energy of the full moon. And then we're going to move to the more energy based part where we'll do some energy work together. And if you've never done energy work before, like deliberately and with other people especially, I will walk you through that and talk to you about it. But first, let's pull a couple cards. So my intention here as I'm shuffling is to gain some clarity. I'm just going to pull 3 cards to just explain a little maybe about what's been going on or just validate something. We're just going to be open to just receive. All right, so I'm going to cut the deck. I'm just going to pull 3. 1, 2, 3. I really want to thank you guys so much for those of you who contributed information on and opinions and thoughts on my shift and how I want to do something different. And you've given me so much to work with and so many ideas and so much validation as well. So just thank you so much for being there for me in a time when I was like, what do I do? All right. Okay. So the first card is the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, this is the validation of like, okay, you are on a journey. You had to carry a whole bunch of stuff with you. It's kind of a burden, but it's kind of a necessity. Like you're carrying so let me show you actually. It's like a depressing card, you know? It's like going through these people are kind of coming out or passing through this place where the structures have been destroyed. But as it's in reverse and it's the start of the little reading here, if it's cards in reverse, I usually read it as like it's a delay. But when it's starting, I usually read it as like it's over now, or we're coming out of it, or we're passing through, like this is like clearing, like this is kind of gone. So yeah, look at all of us being all stressed, having to carry so much. It does look like refugees. All right. So that's where we're starting. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles. So 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles. Here is a depiction of, how do we say this best? There's a level here of stability, obviously, right? And being cared for financially, materially, resource-wise, but it's also like this kind of shame in it, or this kind of like, I hate asking for help, or I have to go to my dad to ask him for something, or I have to ask my boss, or I have to ask somebody who's in a little bit of more of an authority figure, we could say. And there's like this like shame, or this like humble, I'm saying shame, but it could be humbleness for some of us, like knowing to ask for help, like knowing that it's uncomfortable. It's okay. Let's validate. It's uncomfortable to ask for help, but sometimes that's just what we have to do. Love it or hate it, you know, good or bad. It just kind of has to happen. So we're kind of either seeking, or there's something to do with support. Hey, Tepi, mama. Asking for some support from like something that's already established, something that's done it before, something that has the resources. You know, I don't really love this card, but it's really not all bad. It's just like this lady looks so with the head down, you know, it's like it's uncomfortable. It's like an uncomfortable situation. So maybe some of us are looking to get resources from a place that's like, we don't want to get resources from this place, like hating your job, or being financially dependent on someone, or some type of materialistically dependent on someone. So, you know, I don't know if that's coming up for anyone. Hey, Christina. Hey, Kimmy. All right. And then we have Justice in reverse. Let me show you what she looks like. Very Libra. All right. The sun and the moon, the eternal balance of things. So this is kind of, it's hard to say actually, but it feels like this is the goal, but we're still not there. And it might be because we're trying to do something a way someone else did it, or we're depending on someone else to create this balance, but in truth, it's not going to lead to balance. All right, so let's get a little clarity card going, because it's really, I think we did this last time too. All right. Hey, Anna. I hope I didn't miss anyone. It's hard to see sometimes. All right, so we're just asking for a little clarity on this reading here. Is there any guidance? What can we do? What should we be doing if we shouldn't be? kind of depending on someone else for the material stuff. I'm just going to pull 2. All right. So first we have the Princess of Swords. So this is your mind. Your mind. This isn't how someone else did it. It's yours that we're trying to focus on. There's a discipline here, mental discipline for some of us. And we want to release these regrets. 5 of Cups. So regret, it's so hung up in the past. Like, it makes me think of a grandmother who like used to host all the holiday dinners, and now everybody's grown and they have their own families, and she doesn't really want to go anywhere. She's just kind of here like, ugh, why do I have all this shit now? Like, why do I have all this stuff? Why do I have all these plates? And it's just kind of like regret, or like dwelling. It's not even a regret because something was bad, but like dwelling on the past and just kind of being like, I don't want to say Peter Pan. That's not what I mean, but like that feeling of, how do we say it? Kind of looking for emotional fulfillment in things that are inevitably going to change anyway and grow. So I think that the message here can kind of come down to the Princess of Swords for any of you who are readers yourself. But essentially, like your own mental discipline, taking a fresh look at something. So to do that, sometimes we have to give things space, right? Like we do have to take some time off, or we do have to not go hang out with our friends and just like let ourselves rest, let ourselves process things, like whatever it is. But this is all about you. Like it's telling you to focus on you and your mind and your inner truth and how you hold the balance with your sword. You can't really, the universe holds its own balance. You know what I mean? So instead of us trying to create balance in like every aspect, or like need to go outside of ourselves, it's kind of just redirecting back in to you, to your own inner balance. So I hope that resonates with some of you. I'm sorry it wasn't a super clear one. I think that the Aries full moon, like who was up all night? Who couldn't sleep? Whose mind has been racing? It's like a combination of like thinking of a problem and then being like, ooh, what am I going to do about this problem? And then and then the answer comes and you're like, oh, let me put this into motion. So it's been very fast, All right. Hey, Cassidy. All right, Heather. Hey. We want it immediately. Yeah, very true. So I picked some stones to share with you guys as well. You're gonna get mad, but I can't remember the name of this one. Maybe one of you will, but it's a type of like cubic looking formations on the stone. I'll find it in my book and share it with you, but maybe some of you know it. But this one's a very good one for creative energy. And if you're looking to work with the energy of Aries, just a red or orange stone. I love this one for, again, it has like these little cubic formations. And that's really helpful with order and processing and just like structure. Crispy cheese, it does. Like, what kind of taki is that? Excuse me. Like I said, I was just talking for 2 hours. Hey, Valerie. So let me see if anybody knows what that is. Yeah, vanadinite, something like that. It's just a really hard one for me to retain for some reason. But orange fluorite, carnelian, fire quartz, fiery things would probably be very helpful if you want to work with the boost of Aries. Now, if Aries has kept you up all night and this full moon has kept you up all night and you want something to kind of counteract that and like balance it so it's not so intense, I would suggest something like morganite, which is a little harder to find. And I will say, like, this wasn't expensive, didn't break the bank, but it wasn't cheap either, considering like it's just a pretty simple looking stone. But this one's very good for kind of quieting the mind and just like soothing the brain a little bit. And Alternatively, here's one that actually Bill sent to me, and it is some kind of like peach aventurine quartzy kind of thing. Which peach aventurine is one that I really love to work with for quieting the mind. It's probably the top one that I recommend. Peach moonstone, peach aventurine, and this, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but Bill just got this on the beach. So it's not like we all have to go out and spend all this money and try to find that morganite. It's a these are stones that we can find many places. Like, what was I? Aventurine is a type of quartz, and it's a quartz with certain inclusions that give it different colors. And this peachy one is very helpful for quieting the mind. So I just wanted to share those with you. I really love that one. It feels so good to hold. All right, the North Shore of Long Island. Yeah, like you can find them everywhere. I mean, that's a pretty special spot as well. All right. Okay, so we've got our little reading. Let's talk about the Aries full moon, if you guys don't mind. Sorry, I keep calling everybody you guys. I'm trying to stop doing that, but it just comes out. Dude and you guys comes out so naturally. But for everyone, the full moon in Aries. So just in case there's any beginners, when the moon is very full, it's just a lot of energy. This is why it keeps us up at night. This is why we feel so restless. This is why we feel so on edge, because it's so much. So whenever there's so much of something, I definitely would suggest to connect with flow and just know that like it's a wave passing through you. It doesn't have to be perceived as this like thing we're holding on to, or this thing that's now inside of us, or that thing that's touching a nerve. We can connect with it in a form of flow and just kind of surrender a little to it and just be like, this is it. Women, or those of us with who have like monthly moon time, it's kind of like being like, well, I'm stressed and I'm cranky and I know I'm probably getting my period. Like it's kind of like that. Like when we just have a reason for something that makes sense, it can be easier to process and just be like, okay, I'm not going to get mad at myself for being cranky right now. I'm not going to be mad at myself or hold myself in any way because I'm a little irritable. Like there's something going on, like let me just connect with the fact that like it's coming, it's going to hit, and it's going to pass. It's like a storm, it's okay. That can be a little bit helpful. So the full moon in Aries, though, and what Aries energy represents is very much I am. It's very aware of the self. It's very self-aware. It's very much like, this is me. This is what I want. This is what works for me. This is what doesn't work for me. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. And that can be super helpful to work with, especially in these times of kind of rebirth. Like Aries is the start of the zodiac. So Aries season in March-ish is the start of the zodiac. Well, this is the moon and it's a different thing altogether, but it's still the first sign. So it's kind of a great time, if you want to tap into an energy of rebirth. If you're feeling called to it and you're like, no, something's happening, something's coming to a peak, there's a death going on, like a door closing and a door opening, and I'm choosing to work with it, it would be a great idea to get a little candle, call in some energies if you're into it. So last night I did this myself because I couldn't wait. Like I was like, I have to do this right now. And I basically just took a little, I just spilled some stuff. I just took a little candle like this. And at first I was connecting with Saturn just because Saturn represents life lessons for me, and that's how I work with it. But also yesterday was Saturday, so I was like, let me work with the energy of the day. So at first I called in Saturn, but like right away, every other planet came into my head. I was like, and Mars and Earth and Venus and Mercury and Pluto and Uranus and what am I forgetting? And I just kind of called them all in. And as I did, I faced east, and then I faced south, and then I faced west, and then I faced north. And I just set an intention to be supported in every aspect from all these different energetic heavenly bodies or celestial bodies or gods or whatever we want to call them, depending on what school of thought you're working with. But I just wanted like everything to be included, like the wheel. So that's what I did. And then I sprinkled a little herbs like on top with intentions of making it gentle, of making it easy. Because so often we have this on our plate like, I'm doing a lot of work. I have a lot of work ahead of me. Oh my God, I have so many changes to make. Oh my God, everything is different. And what we're doing in that is we're manifesting more work, or we're manifesting and paving the way for things to be a little stressful. They're going to be stressful regardless. Like things are going to come up. But what I mean is, instead of focusing on the manifestation of how, oh my God, I have so much work to do, I have so much work to do, I have so much work to do, it can be instead projecting and connecting with the future, the completion, and connecting with that and saying, like, okay, I'm reflecting now in ease and grace, like I'm stepping into this new version of myself, or this new phase of my life, or this new study, or this new practice, or whatever it is, this new relationship, this new career. And I'm choosing to do so from a place of trusting and that I'm capable, and that I can go with the flow, and that things can connect and be easier than I ever thought that they could, because I'm open to the state of flow and I'm open to that. And it can just be really, really, really helpful. Sorry for the really, really. I was reading a little at that time. So essentially, a little ritual for rebirth might be wonderful for some of you who are also experiencing this like really crazy kind of like shift in reality feeling. Other ideas, though, again, fall into of the self, something you want to bring into your personality, or your more the version of yourself, the facet of yourself that you're expressing, something you want to release as well. Personally, I don't really work with full moons with release, but that's not to say that it's wrong to do so. We just kind of all have our own ways of doing it. It's very fiery. It could be a great time for cultivating new ideas or starting new projects, particularly when these are new projects that it's not really about maintaining the project. It's more about like, let me get this off the ground. Like, let me get this off the ground, and then I know it's going to float. For things that are more sustained and long projects, something like Capricorn energy might be a little bit better. But that's not to say that, we couldn't rocket something out and put it into orbit. So if there is any idea or project or business or anything at all that I'm not thinking of, it would be a great time to set intentions or journal and declare that you're tapping into this huge abundant amount of full moon energy to really break through the atmosphere, to click my project into orbit, so it just kind of like it's kind of handling itself, or it's really easy to manage. It's just like that energy is really there to like break through. All right. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Oh, what happened? Oh, Teppy, I'm so sorry. Oh, love you. I'll see you Tuesday if you're still available. Was it Tuesday? Wednesday? Oh gosh, what day is it? All right, we want to send Teppy some love. We're going to move to the energy session. So let's talk a little bit about energy work. I just want to add this to every live stream that we do for those of you who haven't done energy work before. But you have done energy work before. Essentially, I'll say it again, but you don't need me or anyone else to help you connect to energy, as in like you can't connect without another person. You're always connected. Just when you wish well for someone, or you see someone's going through something difficult or a challenging time, and you just like send them love. The most powerful way, though, that we can do energy work is to hold people in empowered states and not hold people in pity or disadvantaged states. So when I'm thinking about someone who just experienced something really tragic, I'm not thinking of like, oh, you poor baby, oh, life is so hard, like in this kind of like littling someone kind of way, if that makes sense. It's more of like, oh my God, like let's help to validate the experience and hold someone and hold space for them to process, to heal, to allow for their own energy flow and everything. So that's something I really want to, it's really important to remember that, because there's plenty of times I'm sure that you've had a friend or someone who, I'm just trying to think, like a coworker or something, who just kind of puts themselves in a position of like sharing negative things all the time, and I don't mean to say that they're wrong in doing so, but let's say someone is struggling with an experience of like something like infertility or having a hard time conceiving. Very often that will be expressed. I'll be shared. Oh, my partner and I are going to have this procedure, or, oh, this happened. And essentially what that creates then, let's picture an office building with like a bunch of like the office building I used to work in. So it's like this little cute old ladies, and they're the best, but like they really nurture you and they kind of baby you, right? So if I'm saying like, oh, I'm having trouble, or, oh, this happened again, or, oh, this didn't work out, and, oh, we're going to try this. It's like people start to hold us in this like, oh, poor you. Oh, you can never get a break. Oh, I feel so bad for you. And don't get me wrong. Like, we do feel bad for people. Like, I'm not trying to say that that's not right, but more so what I mean is like instead of like, oh, like, yes, like I hear you, I hear what you're going through, but also I believe in you. I know you can get through this. I know I'm just going to hold you in a space of your potential, and knowing that you can find fulfillment in so many different ways. And I'm just going to hold you there, like energetically, how I picture you. I'm not going to picture you as someone who's always sick. I'm going to picture you as someone who's constantly becoming healthier every single day and stronger and more flexible, or someone who's struggling in any way. To hold them in the empowered version of what they're going through is a very powerful thing to do for people. Yeah. Bill says, I agree, Jillian. It's like it's better to be at one with the person than expressing sympathy, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Like of course we're sympathetic, but it's like if you're picture your pet, right? When Bamba's not doing well, if I'm like, oh, poor baby, like he's like feels it and his little ears go down. And he's like, oh, like I feel, you're right. There was a time where I got hit by a car, and like a truck ran a stop sign and I got hit by a car. And whenever people would ask me about it, because I was still not done healing from that, as soon as they asked me about it, I would cry, because their look on their face, like they pitied me so much. I would just like, ooh, like, and get like really upset. It's so much more helpful to be like, oh, like, yeah, like, but look at you, like you got hit by a car and you're standing, like, what the hell? Or like when Bamba has to wear a cone, it's like, look at you, look at how tough you are with your little cone. Like, you got this, buddy. Sorry, I'm making this a little drawn out, but in terms of energy work, that's what we want to focus on when we're thinking of Tepi or Andre or anyone who we know who is communicating in the group that they're going through something or experiencing some real strong pain or discomfort or anything. It's not this poor baby thing. It's like, nah, we just hold space for you to heal, for you to process, for you to have whatever it is that is the meaning. I'm struggling a little here. I'm sorry. I think we're in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, but just like the higher, stronger, more empowered aspect of it. So that's what we want to do for everyone here today. All right. So I do have a candle burning, but I just want to grab some incense, which is just behind me. So bear with me. All right. And it's funny because in the shadow work video, which is uploading, it should be there soon. Vimeo is so slow, but I used one of these rope incense, and it made so much smoke. I was afraid that the fire alarm was going to go off, and thank goodness it didn't, because that would be really terrible. So in fact, maybe I shouldn't use this one. What do I have? I'll use spray. That will work. So I'm just going to spray a little spray as we settle in. This one's running out. It's like clumpy. All right. And I'm actually going to use a sphere today for the full moon. Please don't be noisy. Like a little bowl of spheres over there. So all right, so here is a sphere that I think we might have used before. This is Indigo Gabbro. And for those of you who love to do energy work or connect with energy, this is a really good one for that. I just find such a connection It's very stormy. It has these like soft indigo hues, and the black, it's kind of a jasper, I guess. It's really nice. So as I'm channeling, I'm going to use this as a proxy. So my intention here, we're going to set our intention. Got a little candle going. Boop, if you want to set yours. But my intention here is to connect with you all, to hold space for all of us. What we want to do is hold the group in a beautiful place. This is not about overpowering anyone's free will, of course. Like, there might be people in the Patreon community who just aren't into this, and we honor that. So this isn't about like including every name. It's including everyone who would choose to participate, whether we're connecting with their higher self as an invitation and they don't even know this is happening and we're just kind of sending them a little extra boost. Or, they've clearly identified that they want to be here. Or maybe they're here right now, but essentially we're looking at this from a collective. And we want to include as well the intentions for our loved ones, our friends, our relatives, our animals, for those of you who have added or intentions for your animal buddies as well. For the families that are processing things. So much love. Right. So I choose to work with a proxy, which means something to focus on. So spheres are nice because they're just round, like a little world, so I really appreciate that. They're easy to hold and they're fun to play with. But right now, I'm just going to uncross my legs and ground myself a little. Pardon me. But essentially, we can take a breath, connect with flow. So whether you see yourself laying on the shore of the beach or laying in a stream or standing under a waterfall or just, standing in a beam of light, we want to connect with flow, maybe through our breath, in and out, accepting, receiving all the support that we might need on our journey, on our unique paths, and releasing that which does not serve us, that which is ready to be released, but also releasing a flow state for ideas or projects or art or expression or validation or emotional communication, like connecting with people on emotional levels, whatever feels open, like flow in and out. So much of energy work sometimes gets convoluted in this, like, where it's as if it's only going in or it's only, but if it's not in a state of flow, if we can picture that there's a drain or a pipe and both valves need to be open for this, like, we don't want to get backed up. So we want to connect with flow. So if you're open to it, you can connect with your state of flow in whatever way that resonates with you by simply just saying, like, I allow myself to step in, to exist in this state of flow. And in this flow state, I receive anything that might support me and support my journey. And I release anything which does not serve me, but also share and contribute and direct energy outward as well. So let's first focus on our own energy. That might be a better thing to do with this Aries full moon, right? So let's focus on first our feet. Aries does rule the head, but let's start at the bottom this time. Let's start at our feet, connect with our feet, and intentionally declare the portals, the valves, the energy points at the bottoms of our feet, the soles of our feet, to open, to allow the flow of energy in and out through the bottoms of our feet. Let's focus on our ankles, these joints, which are the kind of hubs or highways for energy to flow through. And we're going to channel energy here to the ankles now. Awareness, support, reflecting and healing on all the times that we felt unsupported in our life, perhaps by the environment, perhaps by those close to us, perhaps by ourselves. And just send an energy to these areas to heal, to move them. We're going to move our attention up to our knees, Channel energy here, sending energy here. I'm focused on the collective's needs right now as well. Focused on our own flexibility, our own ability to go with the flow, to release tunnel vision, to release doing things only one way, and be open to all the different paths and all the different opportunities for things to reach us or for us to express or live our lives to the fullest. We're going to focus on our hips, focused on channeling energy to the collective's hips and releasing anger, just like it's rolling down the legs and just out the feet. Releasing any rage, any excessive anger, any frustration that is almost starting to disconnect us from this earth realm, as if we're so frustrated here. How can we connect with it, So we're just going to keep channeling energy towards the hips. Again, anything that does not serve, just rolling, releasing, rolling down the legs, out the feet. And here we want to send in some balancing energy, some peaceful, calming energy. Just harmony, just figure eights, something really simple. All right, now we're going to focus on the tailbone or the root chakra. All right, and here we're connecting with our connection to Earth, to the Earth realm, to the resources here, for the people that we meet, for the life experiences and lessons, and the track that we leave here as well, like what we leave behind as we navigate. We want to be open to all the resources we might require, feel connected to them, know that every resource is available for us to complete our mission or whatever, just like living our life, it's here for us. We're going to move our we're going to move our focus to the lower abdomen, the sacral area, right below the belly button, a few inches, and connect here with this creative center. Balancing. It's very emotional. I'm feeling very, I feel like sweat just hit me as I got to this space. So perhaps a lot of us have a very heightened emotional center right now, creative center as well. And it seems like there's something to perhaps create, something to express from this creative center. But right now, we're not trying to detach from that creative energy, but let's just calm it. If we're connecting and we see perhaps the ocean with waves tossing us around, let's call in the wind to push away the storm. Let's call in the sun to shine some beautiful warm light on this now still or fairly still water. Perhaps we start to see a rainbow. Perhaps we start to see some birds flying. Perhaps we start to feel like we're floating in a lagoon, or we can see ourselves floating in the water. All right. I feel like something is just coming up for like hormonal balance as well. So if there's any hormonal imbalances happening to the collective or any members of the collective, we want to focus on soothing these areas, them becoming balanced, them just chilling out a little bit, just to gain some clarity, some equilibrium. All right, we're going to move our focus up to our lower rib cage area, upper abdomen, the solar plexus, the place of our personal will, our confidence, our authenticity. And know that here in this space, in this energy center, this is your ego. This is yourself. This is you born into this body with these actions and these things that you want to fulfill here and be and step into. And whatever you want, whatever is in your heart, whatever you want to be, however you want to help, whatever you want to feel and express, I just want to send this empowered energy here to know that you are that. It's in you. Anything you want to be, any version of yourself you want to tap into is deep within you already. It's just like spinning a 100-sided dice to turn to that version. It's all there. We want to send this energy to the solar area as well to empower the will, the impulse of action. So when that creative impulse hits, you can release it and take action. Or when that emotional center starts to rise and toss us around, we know that there's an action we can take as a tool, just as a support to help us process. This might be some exercise, this might be some stretching, this might be taking a nap, whatever it is. We're talking about just the physical embodiment of following through in some way to take action to support ourselves. All right, we're going to focus our energy up to the heart area, the center of the chest, and connect here to your soul, your higher self, your soul family, your past lives, your future lives, if you're open to those kind of things, the versions of you in all dimensions, your shadow, your inner child. And here, I just keep seeing some inner child stuff. So let's focus on sending some energy back in time to all of this collective here with us today and those who are watching later. But let's focus on ourselves, as weird as this might sound, but in utero. I feel like a lot of traumas sometimes are picked up in utero. All right, so we're just sending back through time and space to ourselves, our little selves, not even born yet, not even of this world yet completely. And just tell us, little us, the little us's, how loved they are, how strong they are, how much they're going to experience, how we'll always be there for them, and you will always be there for yourself. And just give a hug, send some love. If there's a message you want to share that you know you can kind of implant to this time and carry it forward to you now, please do. Just give you a moment while I continue to channel to the collective here. You're so capable. You're so just magical, your life experience. All right, so let's move our thoughts now to the throat, the lower mind, the conscious mind, we could say, the mind that knows your story, the mind that has read those books you've read, the mind that recalls your lessons, the analytical mind, the logical mind, this point of thought, this point of expression. We just want to send some balancing energy here. If there's any blockage, if there's any excess of energy, we want to just completely harmonize this area so we can quiet the mind a little. And by that, I don't mean no thought, but not intrusive thoughts, releasing any intrusive thoughts or patterns or loops that we may have been stuck on. And we want to set an intention here to welcome in supportive thought patterns and supportive ways of thinking that lead to our own development and empowerment. All right, we're going to move our attention to the pineal gland, the center of our forehead, the center of our head, our space of intuition, of astral senses, our third eye. And we want to just send some empowered energy here to let you know, yes, you can feel. Yes, you can sense. Yes, you have premonitions. Yes, you have instinct. And yes, you feel so much and so deeply and are so aware of the environment and the different energies and all the different people with their different energies and projections and all this mess. It just feels messy sometimes, doesn't it? But we want to just fortify this area to know as much as you feel, as much as you can perceive from outside sources, you also can project outward, or you also can use the sensitivity that you have to tap into feelings you want to see more of in your life, like thinking of a movie scene or listening to a song that really moves you and makes you feel really good, or a memory, or a deliberate intention, or deliberately scripting a new story for yourself. All is mind. All is this perception place. So we just want it to stay empowered, strong, to protect the mental field from outside influence that in any way moves us out of our space of inner truth and kind of pulls us one way or another out of alignment. So we're just focused here. All right. Now we're going to move up to the crown, the top of the head, focused on your connection to what's behind the scenes, all behind the scenes, everything that folds, that moves, that connects, this kind of understanding that there's so much related to cause and effect, and we're all so connected in so many ways, even though we are separate in this experience, and even though we have very unique experiences, there's this element we can connect with to tap into this unity or tap into this kind of brotherhood energy, if you will. And let's just focus here on this trust. And I'm not trying to push this on you or convince you of anything, but this trust of behind the scenes, things are also working in ways that I can't see that are doing the work that I'm doing. So as much effort as I'm putting into my own development, or as much peace that I am deliberately creating in my life, there is also out in the universe, out in this world, out in others, those or circumstances or different things folding in ways to create peace, to create harmony. And as much work as I do, I'm aligning further and further and further with that experience. And it can be so beautiful. All right, so I hope that we're feeling a little aligned after that little, what do you call it? Exercise. All right, so now our energy, I feel better. I hope you guys do. I'm just going to take a little drink because I just feel a little dry. Maybe a couple. You can't really chug kombucha, right? You got to sip it. Oh, good. I'm glad. Teppy. Oh, just want to give you a hug. All right. So now we're going to move to more of a group channeling. All right. I mean, I was trying to connect with the group and focus on the group, but in general now, last time we made kind of a stew, didn't we? Last month, we pictured this kind of pot that we're all pouring our own intentions and like channeling energy. So essentially, channeling energy is so simple that it's hard to describe, and it's very easy to use your own energy. So essentially, you're human. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you're human here, or at least, pretty much. But you're just like I am physically limited. I need to eat a certain amount every day. I need to get a certain amount of rest. I need to drink a certain amount of water, right? Like we all have physical needs, and we also have energetic needs. And we can only contain so much. I can only drink so much water in one sitting to stay healthy. Like I can't overdo it. So we're like batteries, like the battery can only hold so much. Oh, that's great, Tanya. So essentially, if we are finite, we are limited, that's okay. The risk here, though, is like we don't want to just pour from our own cup. This isn't a potluck where we're all kind of like serving up little pieces of our own energy. That's not what we want to do. We want to direct energy. And the more people that we have directing energy, the greater the experience, the bigger the pot, right? So the trick here is not to channel energy and send people energy from your energy. You're the conductor. You're calling in the ever-present, infinite, abundant energy of the universe, and you're directing it into this pot. I kind of like the pot. I don't know. I'm thinking like a punch bowl today. This punch bowl where we're all pouring it in. And this punch bowl is for the collective. And when I say collective, I mean the group here, the community, not just those who are present, but other people as well who choose to be present but are absent, that kind of thing. All right. So if there's any questions about that, is there any question about how to channel, like please leave some questions either here. I might miss them right now. A soul sangria. Yeah. Totally. um, or if you want to leave them in the community tab and talk about channeling energy, it's so simple. It's just a declaration. My word is bond. I choose to direct and channel energy on behalf of the highest and greatest good from source, from infinite, and send it and direct it with the pure motive to this pot, to this punch bowl of energy that we have for this little group party right now. So it's that simple. So first, let's just connect with our bodies, connect with how we're sitting, connect with our posture. I'm not a posture police kind of person, but you might find yourself just called to kind of like straighten out, maybe settle in, just get to a point where you feel comfortable. All right. And we want to focus on this channel within our body from the top of our head down through our spine, this long Verizon Bios freaking cable, whatever you want to picture, lightning bolt, a vessel. Sometimes I see it and it looks kind of like not a lava lamp, but like kind of one of those novelty lamps with like it's like a chamber and like glitter and stuff that like you see when it's like back to school time and stuff in Target. Anybody? But this chamber, this tube inside of us, and this tube is connected to all that we are always, but this tube, let's focus on the connection to all that is. And we want to turn on this light in this chamber, in this column within us. We want to turn on this light. We want to cultivate feelings and set intentions for the community here. So on behalf of the highest and greatest good and perfect comfort and alignment, it is our will, it is our declaration and our choice to channel energy from infinite source into the group here to serve them in whatever means that will support them. Everyone is unique. Everyone has something different going on, although, of course, there's always a lot of similarities. But whatever they need, we're kind of putting a trust here in the intelligence of energy, the intelligence of source that is even beyond our own limited intelligence, to serve and support in ways seen and unseen to support the collective. So as you focus on this column, this light, this glittery space, this beam, this laser, this waterfall within you, however it looks, we want to, perhaps you'll feel called to put your hands out like this, like up, like you're directing, or like me, I'm going to focus on this is where I'm going to put my focus. It's easy for me to focus here. All right. You could do this similarly, even if you don't have a sphere, you can just cup your hands and hold it and see the group in there or the punch bowl or whatever you want to see. But we're basically going to allow the flow of infinite energy to move through us and contribute to the collective. All right, so we're just gonna be a little quiet, connect, start channeling whenever you're ready. Make sure your motive is pure. And by that, I mean, we're human. We're not all super, super pure. It's okay. That's life here. That's how it is. We don't have to be. The motive needs to be pure. So it's just our desire to help. It's just our desire to support. It's a way for us to tap into unlimited energy and provide these kind of energy gift cards for people that they and their higher self can use as they see fit. Okay, I'm getting some visions, and I know it's going to sound kind of silly, but I'm seeing like Mickey Mouse, like the symbol of Mickey Mouse, like the ears and the head kind of shape, I'm seeing a white candle with tons of wax dripping down from it, like as if this candle's been burning for hours and hours and there's just like wax all around. Oh my gosh, you guys are so visual today. I'm seeing like a peacock now with its feathers down, like its tail feathers down. I don't know if that holds any significance, but I'm just going to try to be descriptive. And still, I'm just channeling, like you probably are as well, but just channeling into the group. It's almost like a pool now or a jacuzzi or something. I'm starting to see a swirl, like we were talking about, that kind of whirlpool. And if any of us are in a whirlpool, and I know a lot of us are, there might be some stuff, like we talked about already, being brought up from the surface. So, gonna focus to, like, I know it's gonna sound really silly, but energetically come in with a scooper, a strainer that you clean the surface of the water with, and you collect the bugs and you collect the leaves and all the stuff that fell in the pool overnight or during the day, or that kind of got churned up from the bottom. And we're just gonna skim the top. So if there's any cloudiness, if there's any debris, we're just skimming back and forth, cleaning this out. And I'm literally like seeing, like, we can bet, like, I had a above ground pool when I was little, and we'd skim it and then you'd kind of like whack it really hard on the edge of the pool, and all that dirt, all that moldy leaves, whatever it is, we're just going to see them kind of going into a fire. And it's not because we're casting them into some kind of purgatory flame thing. It's just transmutation. We're just going to transmute that energy, all the stuff that's being brought up from the bottom of this pool, anything that was lost. We'll separate anything that's of value, we'll separate, and we'll dry it off, and we'll return it to the owner, like jewelry, necklaces, earrings, anything at all, contact lenses, whatever it is, pages, words, an old diary, whatever it is. We'll separate the good, the stuff worth saving, and we'll just keep skimming and skimming and skimming as we pour more and more fresh, clean, pure, positively charged energy into the pool. And we're almost to the end of the skimming, and I'm seeing this like really bright, bluish, purplish kind of lavender moving around. It's like this blob moving around in my eyes. Sorry if that sounds weird. Just want to share what my experience is. All right, so we're skimming the last bit, the very last bit, and now all the debris is gone. All the cloudiness, all the ickiness, all the stuff that makes us uncomfortable, that we don't want to see, that we're just done with. It's garbage. No offense. You were a beautiful leaf once, or you were a beautiful bug once, but now you're gone and it's garbage, and we're just clearing it out. All right. So now we can see this pool, this stream, whatever, or this kind of like body of water, whatever it looks like to you. And it's crystal clear, and it's still, and it's reflective. So if you're connecting with the image of the pool, I would encourage us all to step closer and closer to the edge of the water, the edge of the pool or lake, and notice how clear it is as you continue to just beam energy, not just from you, but through you, like a conduit into this pool. And all these swirling colors, these lights, these flashes, these beautiful things that you see just barely under the water, just making the water so beautiful, like sparkly. And come closer and just look down into this pool and see yourself. How are you looking? How does your forehead look? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel tense? Are your shoulders up? How can you see yourself right now? All right. So however you feel comfortable, if you want to jump in and just be covered and float to the bottom and rise to the top, please do. If you want to just put your hands in the water and connect that way and receive, please do. If you want to wash your face with this water, if you want to just float in it, whatever feels good. It's big. There's plenty of room. No one's bumping into anybody. It's healing. It's empowering. It provides clarity. It provides support. It makes you feel supported. All right. And just say, I receive. I receive on behalf of my highest and greatest good. I receive in perfect comfort. And I'm happy to support anyone else who I've been able to support today without ego, total humbleness. All right. All right, so we're going to work our way out of the water, out of the pool, however you were connecting. Maybe see yourself sitting down. See yourself taking a breath here in this body. And connecting again to this physical space. Sorry that my eyes were closed the whole time. I'm sensitive, so it's so funny. I was in the water from the beginning. All right. So this is an example, right, of how we do our little energy work. It's so gentle, and I know it's very easy to make fun of. I know it's very easy to say like, oh, you're imagining things, or but our imagination is a very creative space, and it really is what moves energy. Our thoughts, our intentions, our words, our imagination is what moves energy, and it's really beautiful to connect that way, and it's simple, and it's a nice little thing we can do for ourselves. And of course, we'll have the disclaimer. It's not just about just doing this, right? We take action in our life, but this is just another more energetic way of connecting, because sometimes our hands are tied. Sometimes there are people who live far away, even though I feel like they live right next door, who I can't give a hug to in person. These are things we can do at any time. You don't need a group for it. It does become more people, more energy, more capacity, and all of that. But it is something you could totally do on your own. So that's basically it. Tempe said, I send you all energy tacos. Thanks, because that sounds really good. All right. So that's our little bit for today. Does anybody have any questions or anything you want to share in the comments at all? Anything? The skimmer, I know, right? Sometimes. So when you're doing like energy work as a practitioner or for yourself, if you've had these experiences, like there are times you see a storm and you think, wait, I have a part to play here. And I don't mean to say storms are bad, but I can help clear the storm. Or if there's fog, or if there's dirt, or if there's anything, we start to learn that we can guide ourselves through ways that seem so practical, like using a skimmer. In master level Reiki, we learn about psychic surgery, and it's kind of similar. And sometimes it seems like odd, but it's really, really interesting and really empowering, especially when we're walking someone through it. So, that's awesome, Cassidy. I'm so glad you can make it. So good. Good. Sorry that I'm just like reading. Hey, Krista. So good. Shelly. Oh, hey, Shelly. Did I say hi to you before? I don't think I did. All right. So I hope that this helped us to at least like move some of that like buzzy energy that I think a lot of us were feeling. And I don't mean to project that onto people who were like, what? I'm chilling over here. What are you talking about? But as we got started this whole week, like I said, last week too, I just felt very buzzy. I felt very like, I was doing it. I was okay. I wasn't spreading the bad vibes around or anything, but I definitely felt like I had to do something. So these can be like really helpful for that if it helps you, that kind of thing. Yeah, it is nice to connect with gratitude through this for sure, Belle. And it is a nice way to start your week. So if anyone is open to it, like please make sure if you feel called. So when it comes to like rituals, when it comes to the full moon or there's an eclipse or or some, there's a comet. There's so many things where sometimes it's like, oh, did you do a ritual for this? Or what are you going to do for this? Or, oh, it's full moon, it's a new moon. And it's like, we're not always going to be called to tap into every single full moon or every single new moon or every single eclipse. Like sometimes like things are just going to happen behind the scenes and like that's fine. But if you feel called, if you feel like you have something you want to direct this towards, it's just such a good day to do it. I don't want to say that tomorrow would be too late. I don't want to like imply that, but I feel like today would be like the most the most direct day to be able to do it, if not the night before, for those of you who did things a little early. Oh my God, Allison, that's so cute. Allison said, for those of you watching later, when he talked about going into the water, my dog rolled over and made little swimming motions in the air. Oh, that's so cute. They really know. They really know. Bumba's not here right now. He's a little locked out. Not on purpose, but he just didn't make the cutoff. I locked the door. I'll have to let him in. I wonder what he's doing outside. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you guys enjoy these. And, I know that it's not for everyone. Not everyone is going to want to do this. But for those of us who do enjoy this kind of stuff, it's just really nice to focus together. It's just like a group thing, it's a group thing that we can do. It's just like really, really, really beautiful. All right. So I think that we're good. Oh, massive group hug. Yes, I love that. I just want to send you all so much love, so much gratitude for being a part of this. It's really beautiful. I want to work on getting better at guiding people through. I just kind of like go with the flow, but I don't want to script it either, but this is definitely something I want to progress at. So it really selfishly gives me an opportunity to practice. So I appreciate that, just to share how much I appreciate that. And I just want to send you all so much love, and just know that like, there's space for you here, and everywhere. There's always space for you. But if there's any questions, if there's anything you just want to vent about, if there's anything you just want to share, like, the community tab is always open for anyone. Some people are super active, some people are super quiet. It's not a pushy thing at all, but I do try my very best to at least reply to all the community tab stuff, because at least that's like focused for me, because sometimes things like add up. So if there's anything I can help with, and I've seen so many of you in the community like answering questions or like sending each other like just like really beautiful messages, and like, oh, it's so dreamy. It's like a dream come true. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. I mean, as much as I do, All right. So I'm just going to send you love. And I'm going to go grocery shopping. Wish me luck. Grocery shopping on Sundays are not my favorite thing to do, but hey, it'll be fun. All right. I love you so much. Thank you so much for serving as a conduit, for adding to the group, for showing up. And I hope that you feel good, and I hope you feel more balanced. I can say with complete authenticity, I feel a lot more balanced because I was a little crazy. All right. Thanks, Debbie. You know the deal, kids, all of it. All right. See you later, Shelly. Bye, Olivia. Bye, Heather. Thank you. I'm so glad. Bye, Charlotte. Bye, Lua. I hope I'm saying your name right. Bye, Wibble. All right. Bye, Bill. Thanks again for the stones. I hope you can see how much I love them. All right. And I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Have a great day. All right.